Welcome back to Politics Tonight. Digging beyond the headlines, I still have with me PP Elisha, Phineas Elisha, a chieftain of the All Progressives Congress APC, and tonight we're discussing Adamawa politics. All right, Mr. Elisha, you were also a founding member of the PDP in Adamawa State, along with former Governor Murtala Nyako. How would you describe Adamawa politics without him?
Excellent, and I still feel that it's doubtful if we are going to get such a government again, and that the issue of Adamawa, then the PDP, I was the state secretary for almost 6 years, and there was let me say almost 70% adherence to the provisions of the Constitution, maybe because of the position of His Excellency Admiral Murtala Nyako, GCON. He gave the party free hand to operate. And myself, my chairman, and the other state executives, and also the local government party chairman, we played a major role, and that whatever decision is taken, consultation is made, we move down the ladder up to the world level to feel, to get what their feelings are. And then the administration, you see, when he came on board, other contestants decided to, after losing the nomination, they joined forces with him. I remember Brigadier General Buba Marwa, brought his own team to him. I remember the present Secretary to State Government, Laji Awal Bamanga Tuku, the son of Fidang Adamawa. He also resigned and felt that he should not contest with His Excellency Right Admiral Murtala Nyako because he is like a father to him. And therefore, they joined forces. They brought in their people. And graciously, the governor appointed the commissioners based on the recommendations of the people that they contested with. And that he came to the fire just like our president, Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. He came prepared. His intention was to see that he reduced poverty in Adamawa and encourage youth on politics and government, and that he tried as much as possible to train the youth, to be gainfully employed in technical skills, etc. If this had been maintained, Adamawa would have been a different place altogether. And at that time, despite the lean resources that he had, they were judiciously used, and he created the special assistance program that saw to the employment of teeming youth, and that crime rate reduced. And that was the reason why during Murtala Nyako's regime, we don't have any instances of Boko Haram insurgents in Adamawa then. No, because our youth were put to absolute use, So I would say that that was an era of politics that, was beneficial to the common man. And that was exactly what Murtala Nyako is. And if you go to the villages today, they will tell you in Hausa, Baza Sake Governati Kamana, Baba Memangoroba. So they will look at any government like that of Baba Memangoroba. So I will tell you that it was an excellent period politically.
Right. So, Mr. Elisha, the APC is at the tribunal, and now the man who declared your governorship candidate winner is facing prosecution. It appears the chances of winning the state is getting slimmer for your party. How do you feel about this?
Well, I will not. I was trying to abstain from commenting on that. It is one thing to prosecute the resident electoral commissioner, barrister for that matter, Ari, for what he has done. Is another to review the result of the election, be it beavers, whatever you call it, and see what it contains. Because the APC candidate and the party that took the matter to court, they had their reason for doing that. They were free because it was clearly stated in the Electoral Act that it's only the returning officer's decision that could be used, but it could be reviewed within 7 days by INEC if they saw reason for it, or it could be reviewed by a competent court of law, or a tribunal. That was what was given there. And the problem here is they are taking the resident electoral commissioner, I don't know because I'm not a lawyer, but to my own layman's knowledge, he was not the returning officer, and he did not indicate the fact that he was the returning officer. and therefore INEC has a reason for taking him to court. INEC is an independent body as enshrined in the Constitution, that is clearly stated. They have their functions, they have their rules and regulations. And so let us allow INEC to pursue its own course. But as far as APC is concerned, and as a stalwart of the APC, I will tell you, we will respect the outcome of the case in either the tribunal or if there is any need to go up to the Supreme Court, fine. But what is important is APC as a law-abiding party and APC as a ruling party at the national level will certainly respect the rule of law. Whatever the outcome is, the party will accept.
All right, I get that. But do you think this will affect the chances of your party in that state? And talking about future elections now.
No, because whatever the ills that have taken place in the last election will be corrected when the new executive, even if it were the same people that go in, but they will go in with a new spirit. And that certainly the mistake, as I listed earlier on, I know those issues will be taken into consideration. We will not have a situation where the main actors are also the main contestants, because we are all human beings, and that there is also self-interest, which is very unfortunate if it comes to play against the state interest. But it's normal of human being, even as a Christian, I've been told that I should love my neighbor as myself. So God knows that I have to love myself before I love my neighbor like myself. So is that the same thing? That we avoid those pitfalls in future, and therefore the chances of APC in Adamawa State are very, very bright. After all, look at what is happening to the PDP at the national level and also the state level. Will they be there come 2027? That's question mark. So we are in place and we'll always be there, and we are going to perform, and inshallah, we will claim that particular seat.
All right. So, I mean, evidently, the 2023 elections caused cracks in Adamawa politics. So I'd like you to expatiate on what is being done to unite the party at this time.
Now that you see, they say, physician heal thyself. We are lucky, Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Ashwaju, GCFR, has recognized the performance of our illustrious son, Malanu Ribadu, by making him the National Security Advisor. And therefore, charity begins at home. I know he's going to take all steps necessary, security-wise, to see that all is well in Adamawa. I'm not localizing his appointment, because if you talk about insurgency here, you talk about banditry in the northwest, you talk about military in the Niger Delta, you talk about Boko Haram in the northeast. There are so many places. You talk about Benue, you talk about what is happening in Jos, Plateau, etc., and Kaduna State. So he has a very big task. But what I'm trying to say is that certainly Adamawa will be paramount on his agenda. And two, somebody is a veteran politician, as I told you, once, twice, thrice, has had a go to the governorship of the state. And therefore, we have learned our lesson, because if we had not gotten engaged in inter-party issues, we would have won the governorship election at Adamawa State landslide. There's no doubt about that. Unfortunately, we were before a court of law. I don't know how it will come out, but in future, such a thing will not be repeated. And I believe the major contenders will come on the table, will all agree and see that the interest of the state becomes paramount, for everybody. Because if we don't, we'll continue to lose. And it is not nice to be out of government. If you are in government before and you are out of it, you feel the pain more than any other person else. It's better than not to be there than to be there and not to go back again.
All right. Governor Fintiri made a statement, and I would like you to react to that. He said the controversial conduct of the election has caused division in that state. Do you agree?
No, I will not agree, because the major people that are affected are my own people. I am whatever tribe, and the major segment that are affected by this is the Numan Federation, my own people, my own religion. And therefore, it's a matter of enlightenment and for them to understand, because the picture being painted as if it is only the minorities who are going to govern the state. The appointment that I've made so far, I will tell you that that one is a misnomer because the secretary to the state government is our D. Tuku, fully planning. And that we also have the chief of staff is from, Dumne, you good by tribe, is my brother. And that the other major appointments that even in the past and the present, has taken care of the entire state. And therefore, what is being told the villager is not what is being done at the government house. So Dogire is housed by virtually everybody for the past time. You see, the chief of staff, the SAG Bashir, what I say, Sani Ribadu, and even the second in command to the press secretary of the governor, they are all they're mostly Fulanis, and I don't want to mention other names of people that play a very prominent role. But I tell you, if somebody tells you that religion is playing a lot of role in the governance of the state, tell him a lie. But during the politicking, they will bring it. They will go to churches. They will go to all other worship places and be preaching that one. And I am against it anyway, personally. So, because that's not what is being practiced. So it is what you hear in the social media, in the television, radio, print media, that spread this type of information about Adamawa State. But when you come here, we share common values. There's nothing like that. So for somebody to say there is a division, no. But let me say this very clearly, that the farmer in the past, which is now contained, thanks, the governor played a very major role, the army played a very major role, the senior stakeholders, the traditional rulers, everybody played his own role to see that the situation is under control. Those issues, if you tell me they affected the local person in the village, yes, because somebody will tell you my village, no, we are not going to vote for a plan because we are not going to our farms. We are not going to our farms. They'll say, it was this person who actually bring this thing down. No, it was a collective responsibility that brought the issue, under control.
So how will you assess the administration of Governor of Interior?
Well, he's now the governor, and we don't speak very bad of the past who is occupying that exalted position. After all, he has been given the powers. He's an executive governor, and that he goes Section 193 of the Constitution. He, the deputy governor, and the commissioners are charged with the responsibility of formulating policies for the good governance of the state. Fine, and that we pray for him. Irrespective of the fact that the case is before a court of law, that is immaterial. The same thing at the federal level. Our president has been taken to court by the PDP and the Labour. That has not stopped him from performing excellently. Within the first 40 days, major political decisions were taken, and that's because he came into this presidency prepared. He knew where he was coming from. He knows where he is now, and he has vision for the future. And the same thing here. So far, he has appointed only, to my knowledge, the Secretary to State Government, Powell Tukur, excellent. He has also appointed my good brother, Dr. Amos Edgar, as the Chief of Staff. He has also appointed his own press secretary, the deputy, etc. He's yet to, I'm not aware, he's yet to nominate the commissioners, to help him in, sharpening the policies of the Adamawa State. So, what is good for the goose is good for the geezer. If we praise Mr. President for doing well at the national level despite the court case, then we have to praise His Excellency, Right Honorable Umar Pintri, for what he has done so far. And he's somebody who is known to me. We have been together at the PDP. I was there when he was the minority leader, ACN. He came back to PDP during the Babam Memangore era, and that we worked tirelessly to see that he becomes the majority leader, and later speaker, and then acting governor, and then governor. Is somebody who has actually performed on his own. He rose from nowhere without a godfather. He did his best to come to where he is today. And therefore, even this alone is enough for you to commend him, where he is. I have respect for him. That's the naked truth. But I'm not in the PDP, I'm in APC. And if he's that good, then why are we in APC looking for governorship? So you see that my hands are tied.
So what areas will you urge the governor to focus on to bring more developments to the state?
Well, agriculture is very, very important because especially after the removal of fuel subsidy, we need to encourage agricultural output. So that's the only thing that will sustain the state. Two, the insecurity, he should help in fact what he's doing. Yes, you double effort on that particular. Three, there is a need to provide employment to our teeming youth in the state, either through agricultural extension, services. Because after the removal of the fuel subsidy, the black market has disappeared from the streets. And these youth used to get 2, 3 naira, profit from that one, and then they become gainfully employed. They got something somewhere. Now that they are not earning a single kobo, and they don't, then petty crimes will increase. And therefore, it will add to the social ills of the state. So I would suggest that the governor has done enough in the road network, infrastructure. You should also improve the transportation system in the state, especially in city transportation, apart from the interstate, transportation system. There is a need for him to do that so that it will alleviate the problems of the masses, moving from one part of the state to the other, or moving from one village to the other. The team youth should be taken into consideration because if we do not address that, then we have a big problem. He has constructed enough roads. He has developed other issues. Now he needs to concentrate on human development. It's very, very important.
All right. So let's move on to other issues. The Tinubu presidency is about 36 days in office. How impressed are you with the president so far?
I'm very, very impressed. I said it before. Mr. President, to my own reckoning, is the first president who made himself the president. So you start from Baba Obasanjo. He was put there by other people. Atiku Abubakar. And then you come to Yaradua, it was done by Obasanjo. And then when you come to Goodluck Jonathan, the same Obasanjo. And so when you move to even His Excellency Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, DCFR played a major role in the nomination process in Lagos that brought Buhari to power. But in his own case, he came on board through sheer, hard work. There are people that he made what they are. And he's somebody who has no state boundary. It doesn't matter. As a governor, you could appoint you from Adamawa to be a commissioner in Lagos. And that he met so many of them, and he put them into right places. Take example, the former minister, Fashola. He did very well. And the same thing. I don't know what actually went wrong with Ambode, but he also performed well in Lagos. And most of the people that work under Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu did very well. And that being the case, and also considering his business background, professional background as an accountant. So in accounting, when you give them, when you put a budget, you monitor the budget. When you monitor the budget, if there are any deviation, you correct them and you move on. And so he came prepared. He knows what he wants to do. He knows who and who should be on board to assist him in doing what he's doing. Now, when you get people like that, and you don't have a godfather who is somewhere pulling the strings on what should be done. I'm not saying that all the other presidents have other people pulling the strings, but they listen to those particular advice. The same thing, Gawan was not corrupt, but the commissioner under him were corrupt. So the same thing, Buhari was not corrupt. All right. Unfortunately, the people serving under him were corrupt, so to speak. That is a personal opinion anyway. But I am impressed with Mr. President. Performance so far within just 40 days is something to write home about.
Fantastic. So, Mr. Elisha, before I let you go, the cabinet members of the president are being expected. What are your expectations about the composition of his cabinet?
Well, as they used to say, they say, okay, appoint technocrats or don't appoint politicians. I tend to wonder, are there no technocrats in politics? Because in these days, most of the people that have joined politics are people that have been in government service before. And when they retire, what do? The next place is you join politics. Just like a governor finishing the governorship and would like to go to the Senate. Most of those things. So he should appoint qualified people, people who can perform. He has done it before. He has not made any mistake. Where he made one, hastily, he rectified it. I don't want to mention names. So he knows who and who to appoint. And don't believe that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, requires any advice from some of us as to who to appoint. He knows who to appoint. But I believe there is a need to have the technocrats, there is need to have the politicians, because the politicians will now reach out to the community. Because if you get somebody from London, he's used to London, he doesn't know what is happening here. So there's a mix of the blend of the two will make a perfect match.
Thank you very much, Mr. Elisha. It's been a very interesting conversation with you tonight. I've been speaking with the chieftain of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Phineas Elisha, popularly known as PP Elisha. Tonight we discussed Adamawa politics. Thank you very much for coming on Politics Tonight. Thank you.
It is my pleasure. Thank you very much for honoring me.
Thank you very much for watching. That marks the end of today's episode of Politics Tonight. But the conversation continues from here. Get in touch with us on Twitter at TVC News NG and at Olajumoke OO using the hashtag Politics Tonight. We're also on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. Join us for the repeat episode at midnight and on Monday for another edition of Politics Tonight, digging beyond the headlines. I am Olajumoke Olatiji. Goodbye.